Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me and watch this video. Today we will make legal pad holder. So this one, some of you may recognize, I purchased this one from Dollar Tree. The dimensions are 5 inches wide by 8 inches high. And the thickness of it is just a little bit less than half an inch and a little bit more than 3/8. We will also use this. It's actually cover from the croissant box. So I saved this one because of the flat surface right here on the top. So we will use this. I washed it, cleaned that, dried that, and as you can see, we will use this. We will use chipboard. And for this project, we will use 2 pieces, 8.5 by 6.5. We will use 1 piece, 8.5 by 2.5. And we will use 2 pieces, 8.5 by 1 inch. And I will use this paper collection. I think it's very pretty. I purchased this one on Amazon and I will include that information in a description. So this one is double-sided and there is a reason why I chose double-sided paper. And as you can see, it has really pretty designs on the inside. You know, it almost reminds me of the Christmas collection I had. Some of the designs are kind of similar. So I chose to use that paper. And I think I will use this. And I will use 2 pieces of black cardstock. These measure 12 by 12. So let's pre-cut these to size. So we will cut those 2 pieces to 10.5 inches. And save this, we will use it. Ten and a half. And we will glue these pieces together. So the height is 10.5 inches. So that's how we will glue them. Strip of glue. Just like that, and I'm trying to align this as straight as I can. Okay. All right. So now we will position our chipboard. So we will start with 8.5 by 6.5. Then we will position strip 8.5 by 1. After that, it will be another 8.5 by 6.5, another 1 inch, and 8.5 by 2.5. So we will position it just like that. I'm trying to leave approximately 1 inch of that cardstock on this side, and later I will also trim it on this side, approximately leaving 1 inch. Now position your chipboard somewhere in the middle between the top and the bottom, and the space in between the chipboard, it should be about 1/8 of an inch. So we will glue all these pieces. Okay, let's make sure this adheres. All right, and we will glue all these pieces just the way they are laid out. I will glue them off camera and I will be right back. Okay, so my pieces are glued. So now I will just trim this cardstock, leaving approximately 1 inch from the chipboard. Okay, and I will also save this. So now we will pre-score on all 4 sides. All right, we will fold it. And I will run spatula on all 4 sides, kind of against the chipboard. I'm trying to create this really nice crease all around. Just like that. And now we will miter all the corners. So small angle on both sides, and we are leaving a little bit of the cardstock in here, just about whatever the thickness of the board is. And we will do that on all 4 sides. Okay, so now we glue all these sides to the chipboard. Okay, and we do the same thing on the bottom. Okay, let's just make sure that this adheres. Now I'm working in here and those inner spaces right in between the chipboard, almost to kind of push this cardstock a little bit in. That's gonna help us with the folds. Okay, and I do the same thing right here. Now don't push it too hard, just kind of work it, because we do want to bend this cardstock. So now, as you can see, it's much easier to close this. So this will be the cover. And now the leftover pieces that we have, we will cover this space, those spaces in between the chipboard. So we will need to cut 4 pieces. So let me measure this. This is 4 inches. You know, I'm gonna cut approximately 1.5 inches, just so I don't have to use another sheet of cardstock. So 1.5 inches, and these I'm gonna leave it just the way they are, and those are the leftover pieces. So now for the height, those pieces should be about 8 inches long. Okay, and we need to glue these pieces just like that to cover those spaces. So let's glue the first one. Okay, so I'm positioning this approximately on the middle of that chipboard, and I'm trying to position or leave the same space on the top as I have on the bottom. So let's squish this. Now the second piece, I'm going to put it just next to it, and I like to leave just a tiny bit of space in between it. You could actually crease it right there in between to define where that fold is. Okay, and we do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now let's work around that spine. So as you pick up this side, you kind of push your spatula right there. And you need to work this because you don't want to break that cardstock on this side. So we do the same thing to this one. Okay. And we do the same thing on the opposite side. So we are just kind of working that. All right. So this will be our cover. Now for this project, I will be using magnets. And right now I have 4 of them. The dimensions are approximately 3/8 of an inch. And the thickness is 1 millimeter. So if you go in by European metric, that's going to be 1 centimeter by 1 millimeter. And right now I have 4. I think I'm going to take 2 more. Okay, so I got 6. So to position magnets, I like to use double-sided tape. I think it's just easier. So I will glue them right here. And I'm leaving a little bit more than ½ inch space in between the magnet and the edge. This one is actually 5/8. So I will put 3 magnets on this side. Just like that. And I like to put the magnets at this stage because otherwise I will forget. I want to make sure that I got the right side of the magnet. All right, so now when I try to close this, I'm aligning all the sides and I'm kind of pushing where the tape is because I'm trying to make sure that those magnets stick in there, and not all of them did. So these 2 did, but the other one didn't. So I'm gonna just put a little dab of glue. Okay, so I got the mark. And now we can position the glue. Okay, so this will be the cover. So now let's pre-cut our paper for the inside and the outside. I'm choosing to use this paper for the outside. So we will cut down to 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. And we need 2 pieces. 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Now I'm gonna take the leftover paper and I'm gonna pre-cut to 8 1/4 because we need 2 strips at 1 inch. This is a little longer, so 1 inch and 1 inch. So those will be for outside. I am also choosing this paper for the outside because I want to put different color right here on the flap. So this one we will cut down to 2 1/4 by 8 1/4. Okay, so we got the pieces for the front done. And now for the inside, I'm choosing to use this paper. And there is a reason the paper for the inside, it could be one-sided, but we will place almost like a little envelope on this panel, and I want to use double-sided paper because we will be creating window in here. So it's gonna look much nicer if you do have the double-sided sheet. So this one we're gonna cut also to 6 1/4. And this one is directional, so that's why I'm trying to pay attention how I cut it. So 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. And again, I'm gonna take the leftover piece. I will trim down to 8 1/4. And now we're gonna need 2 pieces, 1 inch wide. And now that would be up to you if you want to decorate this panel with the same paper or you want to use something different. I think I'm going to use something different. I will use the same paper that I will use on the front of this flap. So, okay, this is wide enough. So let me cut this to 2 1/4 by 8 1/4. So let's glue inside first. But before we glue it, we will remove this tape. Again, otherwise, if I start gluing this, I am gonna forget to remove that tape. Okay, so let's glue this flap first. And I'm positioning, leaving approximately 1 inch space all around. Now, when you are using magnets, I would suggest to cover magnets with design paper. You don't want to use, at least I don't like to use solid color, because then when you're squishing this all around the magnets, and be careful because you don't want to tear the paper, so you just want to go around it. But you see, because this is not solid paper, you can't even see those magnets. So this is the reason why I do that. So now we will do this, glue the spine. And you know, if you don't want to use magnets or you don't have magnets, you can use Velcro. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay. So I'm gonna glue another spine. So I'm trying to position this kind of on the middle, just like that. All right. So let's make sure this adheres. Okay, so the inside is done. These magnets, okay, they are holding. So now we will decorate the front. So now when you turn this to this side, I found that you can also make like a little indentation by the spine, and this way it's really easier for you to see where to apply your paper. So I will also start with this one. And approximately 1/8 of an inch border all around. Okay. So now the spine. Okay, another spine. And before we forget, let's remove this tape, or the backing of the tape. And again, approximately 1/8 of an inch border all around. And now around the magnets, we need to make sure that the paper adheres. But be careful, don't break the paper. All right. So this will be our cover. Just like that. So now for the inside, we will glue the notepad, and I will use all 3 sections. You don't have to, you can use one if you want. I will use, I think I will use 2. So now, I know that many of you like removable, so we will make this removable. So I'm gonna take the leftover paper that I have, and this is a little too wide. I think it should be a little bit narrower. So I am gonna cut down to about 2.5 inches. So now I am gonna position this right underneath, just like that, all the way to the back. I will fold this over on one side, and I like to pull it a little bit, just maybe 1/8 of an inch. Because I want to make sure that it's gonna be easy for us to replace that that notebook or notepad. So now I am gonna apply the glue. Now don't apply the glue close to the edge, because you don't want to glue that notebook or notepad to the band. So now I will position it close to this edge, just like that. And let's squish it to make sure it adheres. And now, as you can see, it's really easy to put this notepad in or remove it. Now I left space in here because we will apply, or we will make a little band for our pen. And to coordinate colors, I am gonna use this paper. So I am gonna cut two-inch strip, and we will score. we will score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2, and 2.5. Those are the sizes that I usually use, or those are the scores I usually use when I make a pen or pencil holder. So the last score, I am gonna cut the paper off right before that score. So the score actually is left on this leftover piece. So now when we fold that, that will be our pencil holder. Okay. Let's make sure this is stuck. All right. So now I'm checking where is the side with double thickness, and we will glue it just like that. So this is the double thickness. Let me just apply the glue. I will put the pen in here just to see how I want to position this. And now let's squish it. And here is our pen holder. So now I could make a cover for this notepad. I like this look. I think that the white is picking up from here. I think it just looks very, very nice. So now we will work on the pocket for this side. And for this, I will cut this piece apart. Okay, so I am just trying to cut out that middle piece. Okay, and now I want this piece to be flat, totally flat. So right now I'm not measuring, I'm just trying to make this as a flat piece. Okay, so I feel it that this is not flat. There's a little edge. All right, so now I need to cut this to size. And actually, let's see. This actually might work. I like this size, so I'm gonna just keep it the way it is. So now we need to wrap this. So this piece measures 5, a little bit more than 5 1/4. So I want this piece to be a little bit shorter. I want this piece to be approximately 5 inches. I'm gonna make it just a little bit less than 5 inches. I know you can't see it because this is clear, but that's about 5 inches. And now the height, it's totally up to you. This one is 5.5. I am also gonna trim this to 5 inches, maybe a little bit less. Five inches it is. Okay, so it's not quite square piece, but we will keep it just the way it is. So now our page is 6.5. So we're gonna cut paper. I'm gonna cut paper to, that was, I think I lost my piece. Here it is. I have to measure it. Okay, so this one is 5 inches, and this side is almost 5, so it doesn't really matter. So we will cut this paper to 6 inches by 7 inches. So now we will score. So the 7-inch side, we will score at 5.5. I'm sorry, we're gonna score it at 1/2 inch. We will score at 5.5 and 6.25. So I will fold this just like that. Okay, so now we will position this way. This is the 6-inch side, and we will score at 1/2 inch. We will turn around and score at 1/2 inch. Just like that. So now let's fold this and burnish all of the scores. Okay. All right. So now what we're gonna do, I keep on losing this. So we will position the clear sheet right in here in between the scores, just to make sure that our scores are cut or are done correctly. Because what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually trap this clear piece right on the inside, just like that. So this one, it's gonna be fine. And now we will miter the corners. So I am going across just from one side to another. And this is the side where we have only 1/2 inch score and 1/2 inch. So we are cutting just like that all the way across. Now this one, originally I thought that maybe I'm gonna make it double thickness, but I don't think we have to. So whatever the first score is, I am just gonna cut this off. I don't think we need it. And I can't really see it, so let me get the board. So I am gonna cut off about 3/4. Okay. So now, as you can see, we can trap this just like that. So we have 1/2 inch score, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. The top is 3/4. So the top, we will cut, you see this is the 3/4 side. We're gonna cut it from the score straight and then little angle. So this is what you have. On this side we will do the same thing, straight and little angle. So I will mark this with the pencil because I want you to see what I'm gonna do. Okay. So I am gonna mark where the scores are. So I hope you can see it now. Okay. So those two straight sides, I am gonna cut on a little angle, just to make it a little bit easier when we are closing this. Just like that. Okay, so now we will mark 1/2 inch on all sides where you have 1/2 inch right here. So one side, second side, and the bottom. So now I am gonna join all these lines. Okay. So this is the 1/2 inch score and a 1/2 inch line. 1/2 inch score, 1/2 inch line, 1/2 inch score, 1/2 inch line. Now this top is 3/4 of an inch. So I will mark 3/4 and 3/4, and I will make it mark right here, 3/4. Okay, I did this because now we will cut this out. So you can use a ruler. I am just gonna cut straight down only to this corner. So what we are trying to do is create a window. Just like that. And this one is not quite straight. I think I marked it wrong, but that's okay. I will just cut this out. Just like that. So now I can't find my clear piece. Here it is. So now when we position this, we will glue all sides just like that. So we are trying to make that window right here. So I will apply the glue, little bit of glue around in here. Don't put too much because you don't want that glue to come out on the opposite side. All right. And now we will glue it all sides just like this. And I don't know if it's gonna glue really into the plastic, but it doesn't matter because it will, everything will be holding this together, that I promise you. So now we're gonna do this side. The third side. And the top flap. Okay, we have our window. So this will be the pocket right here. Now I will take leftover piece and I will cut strip this is going to be the top where it's 3/4, and this will be the bottom. So I want to make sure that the bottom piece, it's a little bit shorter than our frame. So that's why I made the mark in here. And I will cut this straight down. So let me align it and cut this straight down. See? So now I need this piece to be 1.25 inches. Actually, we're gonna make it 1.5 inches. Okay. And we will score. We will score this piece at 1/2 inch and 3/4. Actually 1/2 inch and 1 inch. So you're gonna have two scores, 1/2 inch score and 1 inch score. Let's fold this and burnish. And I will glue one side to the bottom of this window. Now we're gonna glue, as you can see in here, this side it's much nicer and straight. This one you can see overlapping paper. So this is where I'm gonna glue this, because that will be the inside. So I'm gonna glue it just like that, positioning the edge straight with the window. Not with the window, but with the edge of the piece where the window is. Just like that. So what's gonna happen is that this pocket will be about 1 inch deep. So now this will be the bottom, this will be the top, this is the 3/4 inch, and those will be the sides. So let's measure the side. The side measures 5 inches. So I am gonna cut two pieces 4 3/4 inch wide. And I'm using the same paper. So I am gonna cut 4.5, and then this side 4 3/4, and another piece 4 3/4. Okay, so 4 3/4 will be the height. So let's position this just like that and put it to the side. And we will score. So as you can see, 4 3/4 is the height, and this is 4 1/2. So what we're gonna do, we will score every 1/2 inch all the way to the end. Just like that. We will do the same thing to the second piece. Just make sure that this dimension is 4 3/4. And every 1/2 inch. Okay. So now we will fold the paper back and forth. Okay. Now, I don't like this because the front is going this way and the back is going the opposite way. So I am gonna cut out the last 1/2 inch. Okay, so now when we fold it, you can see that this side and that side, they are facing the same way. That's what we want. So I'm gonna do the same thing in here. I am just gonna cut that last panel off. And we're gonna fold this also back and forth. Just like that. So you can see that both of those sides, this one is facing the same way as the front, and this is the same thing right here. So now we're gonna take our window, this is the top, and this is the front. You see, because this panel will be the bottom. So we're gonna turn it around and we're gonna glue it. The way we're gonna glue it is, as you can see, this edge is facing towards the inside. So this is where I'm applying the glue, right here. And now I'm gonna align this with the bottom and with the edge. Just like that. So let me just squish this. And as you can see, this will become our pocket with the little window. Just like that. So we're gonna do the same thing with this piece. This is facing this way towards your left. So we will apply glue right here. And we will glue it this way. We will align it with the bottom and with the side right here. Now I'm gonna squish it a little bit. Okay, and this is what we have. So now, if we open this up, this is how this looks like. those will be the two sides, and this is the bottom. I am gonna trim little angle from the edge to the first score on both sides. So now I will align this, and you can align it however you want. I think I'm gonna keep this towards the bottom so I can have a little bit more room for the closure of the top. So when I turn this around this way, you see, this is the piece with two scores. I'm gonna apply glue only over here, only to the first score. Now I'm gonna align the window with the cardstock. I can still see the cardstock, and I'm trying to make this straight, just like that. Okay. So now we need to glue the sides. So I am gonna put glue right here, and don't put too much glue. You don't want this glue to come out on the sides. So now when I flip this over, I'm gonna try to control it, how this is gonna get glued. You want this to be glued straight. So push with your fingers towards the outside, just like that. And now we can go from the inside and squish it to make sure that this adheres on both sides, just like that. So this is your little window pocket that is clear. Now we need to close this. So as you can see, this is big enough to put pencil, to put pretty much anything you want into this pocket, and you will see what's on the inside. So now we need to make closure on the top so we can keep this closed. For that, you could use this paper or you could use this paper. It doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. So let's see, if I put it this way, that's how this would look like. If I take this paper, my closure would look just like that. So it's really up to you what type of look you want. I think I prefer this one. So this is the leftover piece I have that I think I'm gonna use, but I need to trim it to size. So this is a little bit less than 5 inches. Actually, this is 5 inches. So I'm gonna trim this to 5. If it's hair smaller, that's fine, but you don't want it to be too wide. And the height is a little bit more than 3.5. I don't know if I'm fine with that. We'll see. I'm gonna work with this. So this is about 3.5. So we will score this. We will score at 1/2 inch, and 1 inch. So I got 1, 2, 2.5 left. So I'm gonna make another score at 2.25, and I'm gonna make it score at 3.5, but this is the portion that I will cut out. So we got score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2.25, and that's it, because this paper should be approximately 3.5 inches long. So now let me cut this small piece off. I want only 3.5 inches. And now we will fold all scores. And let's burnish. All right. So now, the side where you have 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, we will trim the angle only from the outside to the first score, and we will do this on both sides. Just like that. And now this piece where you have, though this is the first score, second score, this is the third score, we will fold it over and glue it just like that. So let me apply the glue. And we will glue this. Okay. Okay, so I like round corners. So I will make them round. And this will be the flap. And let's see if I like it. I think that's fine. This will work for me. If you wanted, you could make this panel a little bit longer to extend this and make it larger piece. But I will leave it the way it is. So let me turn it around. Over here, 1/2 inch flap. I am gonna apply the glue. Now I'm gonna position this according to the top, just like that, straight down. And this is only to mark where I want to glue this. So now we have our little packet. As you can see, you can put just about anything in here. You got plenty of room, and it's really not that difficult to grab something. The packet, I don't think it's that deep. So now for the closure, I think I'm gonna use Velcro. Let me apply it right here on the middle. And this one right on top. So when I close this, I'm positioning the top to make sure that when it's closed, I won't see the paper from underneath. Okay, let's squish it. All right. So here is our piece. As you can see, we can put pen, pencil, scissors. I don't know, maybe you want to put something like that. It doesn't really matter. You got quite a bit of room. You can put just about anything in there. And I see that those magnets are not holding that well, so they are not strong enough. So I guess I purchased these from some other place, but that's okay. I am gonna apply Velcro right on top of the magnets. Right here. So I guess I won't include the magnets in a description, since the ones that I recently bought, they are not as good as the ones I have been buying previously. But I hope you like this project. I hope you enjoy it. I think this is beautiful presentation. I think it's really nice. I must tell you that this window packet, it wasn't my idea. It was actually suggested by one of you. So I received some messages that you guys would like to see something with clear packet. So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. Now, if you want to decorate this packet, we definitely can. Maybe you have little flower, some type of cutout, you can put it in here. You can put something right here on the top of the flap. You could cover the notepad. This one is removable. I hope you like that. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click like, comment, share and subscribe. This really helps my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in my next video.